Yeah, as I said, I'm the only one that's paying attention to where they're at. It's finally back out of the fucking camera.
Sorry. I had to use my nebulizer.
Yeah. Okay,
so
alright.
Sleep better at night.
Here we are with an episode of Pints and Pages. I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi. I'm Nate.
This is our special guest, Nate. We just went and watched Captain America. I went blank again. I bought tickets, forgot what movie we were going to watch.
This fucker walks up and he goes, "Hey, we need 2 tickets for whatever the hell's on at 11:30."
The 11:30 movie, whatever that is. We're like Captain America. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm like, how the fuck did you forget that one?
I wanted to start with a YouTube thing, so if you are watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel.
Also, catch one of these.
Yeah, hit a like, hit a subscribe.
That's what he did there.
So if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube, like and subscribe.
And ring that notification.
It gains us. We're trying to work on this whole world universe.
Thumbs us down. That'll get us out there more.
There you go. So, I have a thought in my head after seeing Captain America, and Levi, I need to get this out here into the universe.
I will specifically preface this with my statement was, I understand why Thaddeus Ross was there to set up Stearns, but I really felt like he was just not utilized well.
Mine wasn't even that.
Okay.
Mine was the Daredevil.
Oh, we were bitching about Daredevil.
Okay, before you came in, Levi had made a statement. Daredevil's been cut into 2 seasons now. So instead of doing 18, they're doing 9 and 9.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing 9, and it ends the last week of April. And the 3 days later, Thunderbolts comes out.
Yes.
And then they're doing the second 9 somewhere else. Levi was complaining because the 18 episodes got split into 2.
Right.
I believe that the reason that they did that was because in Thunderbolts, the new president of the United States will be Kingpin.
You think he's skipping mayor?
I think he's going to be mayor of New York City, and they need a new president.
And they take Kingpin.
And they don't just take the vice president, they hold a whole new election, and Wilson Fisk worms his way into being president. So that's
a big one.
I think that's the reason they split the 2.
Well, they're already setting up mayor or president. They're setting him up to be political.
Yeah. I think he's already going to be mayor.
Okay. What if he has to run against President Loki?
That would be
great.
But our Loki's holding Yggdrasil together, right?
Yes. Our Loki. President Loki's from a different timeline. That Loki was ripped from a branching timeline who is not a part of the sacred timeline, which means we could still weasel into President Loki.
I think that is how they bring Daredevil into the MCU.
Which makes sense. I know everyone's been stating Daredevil's going to be our connector between street level,
I didn't even give a fuck about Daredevil. Do you know how many times the word adamantium was used in this fucking
So let's go back to the other movie.
As soon as they said
Spoilers!
Goddamn.
Yeah, spoilers. But anyway,
as soon as they said adamantium, it made me wish I didn't sit next to Tracy and sat next to you, because I tried to immediately lean down and be like, Brad, you heard it, right?
Yeah. I knew what he was going to say already because I knew what those Celestials are made of.
I'm just saying they actually full on stated it, so I was like, Brad.
But there hasn't been a source for it or any fucking mention of adamantium in a movie that didn't involve the X-Men. Nobody said that word at all until now.
Correct.
So I'm like, Wolverine's in.
Yeah.
He's in?
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, so this leads me to their whole purchasing. Everybody's talking about it. Japan's on it. What's in Japan? Japan's close to the fucking city, Madripoor.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of all enveloping in that area.
Yeah.
That's where Patch hangs out, Wolverine. So I'm like, Madripoor's been mentioned by that whole crew of people, Thunderbolts, all them motherfuckers.
I was going to say, Sam and Bucky went to Madripoor.
Yeah, they all go to Madripoor, so it's been mentioned a lot. Japanese in a big conflict trying to get adamantium. I think the U.S. will also be, like everybody wants to get this shit, but where's our new striker? Because you can't introduce Wolverine without having.
Well, here's going to be my question to you, because this has been the running theory I've seen online. Do you think mutants even exist in our sacred timeline?
Yes.
Yes.
Because everything to do with the Red Guardian.
Technically.
Every bit to do with the Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian took the super soldier.
Super soldier.
He did. And he's also never been fucking heard of by anybody.
That is very true.
But he was a most prolific fucking hero in Russia. Because he was the only one they had.
In the Soviet Union specifically, which had its Iron Curtain, thus hiding everything. Because if you know about history, when the Iron Curtain fell, we realized how much they didn't have.
But they had him hidden. There's other places where things have been hidden. So having them there doesn't say they're not there. If they're being, organized by Professor Xavier.
I honestly think the mutants will get introduced by an incursion or just another multiverse. Whether it's our world and another world colliding, or it's going to be like a Deadpool scenario where open it up, throw them in, close it behind them.
I think it's going to be a byproduct of how much has went on with the Sacred Timeline that now the Adamantium's on the board. This is where you don't get Wolverine with adamantium claws until you get that shit. But who's to say he hasn't been kicking it around for a while? Because he hid himself for the longest time, for hundreds of years.
Here's also the other thing I will say. Here's the weird thing.
The mutants have been hiding long enough. We're probably just now getting the starts of them.
But this is only an Easter egg. But here's the weird thing that I do remember off the top of my head. In one of the TV shows, I think it was She-Hulk, we had already gotten mention of a man with claws attacking a bar. Now, I can't remember if they state they were metal claws or not, but that would be Wolverine.
I feel like they might.
It was a newspaper article, right?
Yeah, it's a newspaper.
Yeah, you're right. But
which would then mean we do have the mutants.
But they didn't get
the existence of Wanda alone.
But
is an unofficial mutant.
But also, at least the way that the MCU has made it in so far, and if you go back, because I've been rewatching the older, Captain Americas and shit, Wanda and Pietro were specifically imbued with the Mind Stone.
Right.
Turning
that's what I'm
saying. Mutant.
Yeah.
There's so many different stories with their two coming into their powers, but it's always perceived that even in Marvel Rivals, they quote the shit. But in the old comics, Magneto's never recognized Wanda as having mutant abilities, but he's always considered her as one of their own. But he has always said, you don't have mutant abilities, you got some other shit. And it was always that layer.
I don't think if this is the introduction of adamantium, I don't think that we, at this point, unless it's somewhere else that we don't know about and somebody else is mining it, I don't think we have a Wolverine.
Well, you gotta remember, Wolverine isn't made by the adamantium. He already has his bones.
But there's not going to be an all bone for all eternity Wolverine on it.
Well, I'm not saying he is all bone.
Well, there could be. It's a multiverse.
I'm just saying, he can still be here without adamantium being a thing.
It's
adamantium could never be introduced, and we have all bone Wolverine no matter what.
Well, and here's the thing: is nobody else utilizes adamantium. It's they still go back to vibranium even after it's discovered on whatever respective timeline.
Yeah, that is.
They always go back, but there's always one guy. Fucking Wolverine. There's no point in mentioning that mineral at all if they weren't here's a source of fucking vibranium for everybody that's not Wakanda or fucking Fish Boy. And it's that could hold the same weight as a race. But because they specifically called it adamantium, I think it's just lurchiness. Well, mutants have been here the whole fucking time. You guys just couldn't tell because aliens were invading and the Avengers were fucking taking care of shit. And you guys just live on the craziest fucking planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm thinking. It's street level stuff because, even though that you have the Omega level threat fucking mutants, they don't ever really, like, I don't know.
I mean, I do see your point. It's not seeable. Like, I can see it. It's not like it's unthinkable.
So I feel like we're going on your right away, where you get superheroes are on top of everything, and then you get them where society hates them, and then they get back on top and society hates them. And we're on that bit right now where we're trying to move towards society hating them, which, since we just overcome this fucking president who happened to be a fucking Hulk, it's going to go down to where, okay, these people are bad. Boom, perfect time to introduce Sentinels. We're at the next step for Sentinels being introduced. Adamantium's on the board. You got, like,
I think that all happens. Yeah. I think that
because they called Maria Rambeau. They called Maria Rambeau a mutant, the first mutant.
I did not see the Marvels.
They considered her the first mutant, right? Was it Rambeau or was it fucking America's? It's America's Chavez.
America's Chavez.
It might have been America's Chavez.
But she's not even from this fucking place.
I was gonna say, I don't think American Chavez is.
There's only one of her.
Yeah, because she's like the Scarlet Witch.
Somebody was a mutant from that.
Somebody was Miss Marvel, the teenager.
So that's a debate. No, I was gonna say hers is hers
is from the Gauntlet, from the Alien.
Canon is the first mutant.
Yeah, hers is weird because the Gauntlet activates a genetic almost mutation, but they refuse to call it a mutation in the show, from my remembrance. But I know people have compared it to like Bruce Banner. It's something in her bloodstream. It's not a genetic mutation of hers. It's a part of I can't remember how it was explained, but she's not technically
genetic superiority. Resilience more.
Well, I was trying to say it's a genetic mutation without saying mutation, because that's what a mutant is.
The first confirmed mutant in the MCU is Namor.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, Namor is a mutant.
Yes. The first time that they call somebody a mutant, or they mention the word mutant, they don't call Miss Marvel a mutant. They just refer to it, and that's in Miss Marvel.
They don't call Miss Marvel's unit.
Yeah.
an issue.
But anyways, back to what we were originally talking about, because we've gotten sidetracked.
We got mutants and adamantium.
Oh, I was going to say just Brave New World in general. I thought the movie was great.
I liked it too.
I had said it at the beginning, or to these guys, and a bit at the beginning. I do feel like me and Dad also compared the ending to a Sun's Going Down big guy. Because it
was.
Yeah.
It was.
I was a little like, what the fuck, when they bust through the cherry blossoms, or the cherry trees, whatever the fuck.
Then he catch one of the petals in his hand. It's like,
well, no, they bust through it and they're in there, and Sam's like, hey, you remember this place? Like, talk about your daughter. And then it pissed him off. They fight. He damn nearly knocks him out or whatever the fuck, just hits him real fucking hard. And then all of a sudden the Hulk gets up, they have a little conversation, and he holds his hand out, catches a petal, and he's like, oh, I'm chill now. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
I think that's where, when he was being picked up out of the rubble, and he's like, hold on, get Betty out of a vehicle there. And be like, look, you destroyed everything you wanted to walk.
I think that would have been
they
better.
Should have fucking
maybe
put
that
her
was
there instead of at the prison. I like seeing him at the prison.
I honestly,
because it's his fucking prison.
I was just saying, I did like seeing him in the raft. I honestly didn't want Betty to be happy with him. Like, I understand at the end with the ending where he's like, okay, I'm better, blah blah blah. I wanted her to come out with the blossom trees.
Yeah,
I wanted her to be like, what the fuck, Dad? Like, fucking like, because that, to me, that would have been more impactful of getting him to change and getting him to calm down than just, hey, let's talk about this, and then I'm going to catch a blossom.
Yeah. I wanted to see her make out with Mark Ruffalo.
I wonder.
He needed his shot. Edward Norton done fucked it up.
I wonder, even though it was cheesy and it didn't make a whole lot of sense, if the reason that I think they did that for a couple of reasons. One, it kind of shows it goes back to what I had told you when you had said that Thaddeus Ross really didn't make sense in the movie.
He made sense, but he just felt like he was useless.
He was a pawn.
Because I think it shows that he can control Red Hulk. So he can control going back and forth.
It'll show that he'll have definitely more of a... Why is Bruce the only one who's like, fucking here we go?
I told him I don't know that Ruffalo's coming back. So if Ruffalo doesn't come back, when the incursion happens and they introduce Lou Ferrigno as World Hulk or Gigantic Hulk or whatever, then
it's been talked about that he's talked about stopping.
Then Sam's got to go get Red Hulk because they need a Hulk to match the other Hulk. So Thaddeus Ross plays a part. Red Hulk plays a part moving forward if Ruffalo doesn't come back. And I think that's the main thing. Other than showing...
Other than thing.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing other than just showing that the leader has been pulling political strings for the last 15 years in the MCU.
Dude, he's pulled off whole operations without people realizing.
Yeah.
So it has been confirmed Mark Ruffalo is coming back.
We
don't know exactly for what, especially because this title hasn't been announced, but supposedly he is coming back specifically for World War Hulk.
I heard that he'd only come back for World War Hulk. But that does not make sense if they're going to multiverse fucking just put planets together.
I
doesn't
agree.
make sense.
I agree.
He's the shittiest person about spoilers, though.
He is.
Him and Tom Holland.
Do you think that at this point they have found ways of telling him things that manipulate his thought process in interviews so he ignorantly just says, I'm not coming back unless they do this movie.
Yeah,
and
good.
So, I mean, now it's not confirmed with Ruffalo, but it is confirmed with Tom Holland. I don't know if you've ever seen the clip video where he went live and showed the poster.
Mm-hmm.
That was given to him on purpose because they knew he'd fuck it up. That wasn't anything important.
Oh, right.
They've done that for Tom Holland specifically because he's bad about it. That's why Benedict Cumberbatch was on a press run with him.
They create special scripts without information for Ruffalo.
Yeah, they do. And for Holland.
Yeah. They're like, we're not going to show this part.
But yeah, they totally could have been like, hey, we're leaning this way. Tell me you won't come back unless we do this. And he says, hey, I won't come back unless they do World War Hulk. They confirm that he's coming back, and everyone's like, oh, World War Hulk. And it's like, no, we're just going to shove him in over here.
Yeah. And he comes in filming for a World War Hulk movie, and really it's for the next movie, and nobody knows it, and nobody casts it.
I'm going to compare this.
Final credits.
Still using pulp culture, but moving from movies. It makes me think of how Kendrick Lamar filmed the Squabble Up music video. Because if you've seen it, it takes place in just a room that the set keeps changing. But there's a bunch of background dancers and people doing shit. They were all recorded without Kendrick being there, and they had no idea why they were there. They just signed a casting call. So they could do the same shit with Mark Ruffalo. Be like, hey, you're going to go film World War Hulk. And meanwhile, he's filming for a whole other fucking movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed that it was in my opinion, a political thriller.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. I thought, even though I could see where somebody would sit through it and have an opinion on all of Anthony Mackie's speeches, I feel like they had, I don't know that they had to do it, but I feel like it was done because he is obviously going to be the heart and soul of the new Avengers.
This was literally just a sequel to Air Force One.
Yeah.
I will say, watching it, even though it was a political thriller, I've never seen Air Force One, so...
It's just a sequel to Air Force One. The plot thickens. President has superpowers. There's Captain America.
It's a movie with Harrison Ford plays the president on Air Force One.
Yeah.
It gets
and everything's hijacked.
Everything's hijacked, and...
He was on a plane.
He was on Air Force One.
Jesus Christ!
Fucking Peloton.
I told you it's a fucking sequel. He
But
looks the same age.
But yeah, I feel like they needed to. They needed to make Anthony Mackie the conscience of the Avengers, and I feel like that's what they kind of did.
And I think he works very well for that.
Yeah,
He may not have superpowers, but he's got a super conscious mind.
Yeah, he's like super. Hey, he's like super lovable. You know,
he leaves the room to fart.
Yeah.
I just like that it was a political drama or whatever, and at least in my opinion, and call me retarded or whatever, I did not see anything that could anyone could try to use as ammo for reference to modern what's going on in our actual politics, and I loved it. Yeah. At least I could have missed something or overlooked something.
There was that one guy wearing a MAGA hat.
I was about to say, I didn't see that.
Where'd you see that?
God damn it, Brad, trying to start shit.
I thought it was well done. I enjoyed the movie. I thought that it was, if they cut some of the movie, it needed to be cut. I didn't think it needed to be.
It was, they shot it 3 or 4 times because they showed it to critics one after another said, I don't like this. So they keep on reshooting.
I will say that's my least favorite thing about the fucking movie, TV, everything industry. Let's show this to critics before we let the general audience. Yeah. Because if you look at every movie that you go ask just people in modern day, just out and about, oh yeah, I love that movie. I don't know. 9 out of 10 times on any critic's website, they fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Quit letting these stupid fucks dictate anything.
I don't know that it would have been critics as much as it would have been focus groups.
I think it was just mostly focus groups.
It's probably focus groups.
Focus groups makes more sense. I was going to say, if we're showing it to critics still, they would fuck themselves.
It was probably focus groups.
What are those fucking families? The
Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
The Nielsen families.
They invite them motherfuckers in.
Yeah. I'm sure they have to sign NDAs and all that fun bullshit. But I mean, if they did do all that, then it needed to be cut. I hated to see Seth Rollins not in the movie, but
was he supposed to be?
He was supposed to be.
Bring all the wrestlers and entertainment.
There was supposed to be 3 henchmen with the serpent leader.
Why do people give wrestlers in movies so much shit when they come from the greatest spectacle on earth?
They come from,
where they're doing nothing but acting.
Acting, entertaining, and being physical.
Yeah.
But
because they're guys that can do all their own stunts.
But they did cut 2 of the 3 henchmen. And Seth Rollins was one of them. They cut a girl, too.
We actually talked about it. It was probably a good idea to cut.
Yeah, it was probably a good idea to cut. I don't think he needed any more than the one.
He could have been.
I don't think he needed any more than Copperhead.
He could have been a guy killed that was in any of the other scenes like that.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a little upset, and I always fuck his name up, so I'm just gonna say Gus from Breaking Bad. I'm upset that was the role he got cast in the MCU. I don't necessarily want him to be Professor X just because...
He needed a monologue somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
He did good in his monologue.
I definitely don't think he's done.
I hope he's not.
I feel like he's going to be the MCU's Hannibal Lecter.
I would love that.
You know what I mean? Not actually eaating people.
Well, but
locked in a prison, and he's like...
Oh, you're talking about Stern?
You're going to have to...
No, not Stern. I'm talking about the...
One... Carlos Esposito.
Yeah, that's his name.
I don't know what is his.
Okay, Carlos. Okay,
he's pretty. I fucked it up too.
Gus from Breaking Bad is what I call him. Because all I know is Carlos.
Carlos Esposito.
I don't know his fucking name.
I just know his last name. I can't pronounce his first name.
Immediately when you ask me his name, Despacito starts playing. Everything else is drowned out.
I gotta learn out this motherfucker's name.
Go on to sound his speech.
I feel like he's gonna end
Giancarlo.
Is that what it is?
Giancarlo.
Is it Giancarlo or Giancarlo?
Giancarlo. G-I-A-N.
Okay.
Carlo Esposito.
See, Juan Carlos is just very, very...
Yeah, Juan Carlos. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it'll be. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I hope that this isn't it for him. I hope he's somewhere else.
He needs to be somewhere else.
I mean,
granted, he did state the line because Sam says, "If you break out, I'll find you." And he goes, "When I'll break out, I'll kill you," or whatever the fuck he says. He threatens him.
So, I mean, if they're going to continue to make Captain America movies at some point, I'm sure he could be back. But
he basically said, "Hey, I'm a character with nothing better to do than be a pain in your ass later."
Basically. I thought it was interesting. So at the end credit scene with Stern, the leader, where he mentions other worlds and other heroes. So that obviously is leading us to Fantastic Four, and
I think he knows Dune's coming.
And
he said you didn't listen to the Kang dude, and now they just erased him.
If you've got you've got the Fantastic Four coming from their world, you're gonna and we can't forget that you've got the easiest way to introduce the X-Men, and that's they come from Deadpool and Wolverine's planet Earth.
So here's my question, because you also bring it up, and I haven't looked into anything that much. Do we know they're coming to our... Fantastic Four is coming to our Earth in their movie?
It's set in the 1960s.
And they're famous, which means we would have heard about them by now on
Exactly.
So they are on a separate... We know they're on a separate Earth.
They're on a separate Earth.
But my question is, because he keeps saying... When they, with Fantastic Four, when they come to our Earth, I don't think they're going to come to our Earth till Secret Wars or Doomsday. I think Doom will be the reason they get brought on
their fucking planet gets blown up.
I think that,
I was gonna say, I don't think after First Steps they'll be in our sacred timeline.
I think at the end they will be. I think
here's the thing. Some of those timelines Doom's going to occupy instead of destroying.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Loki to be like, what the fuck is this?
It's like,
and just throw that one away. Like, fuck, how's the... Does he just sit there?
I honestly think Loki just holds it together and just lets everything happen.
Yeah, he's like...
Because that was kind of his...
fucking doing?
Loki's got to come back, though.
I think he's got to come back.
They got to bring him back.
But I think that was kind of his calling of being like, I watched how the TVA tore wouldn't allow things to happen, wouldn't let things flourish. I'm just going to hold it and let it go. I'm just going to let happen what happens.
Yeah, but every now and then you feel like you're wiggle one.
I mean, I would for fun.
So here's...
I just take my right hand and shake all one real quick.
So here...
Macrame.
So the next thing we've got is in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks we get Daredevil. Yes. And then in 9 weeks or 8 weeks we get Thunderbolts. So the interesting thing about Thunderbolts is that Bob is Sentry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
Superman
is basically the MCU's version of Superman. I mean, he was injected and experimented on, and he's some sort of big bad.
Yes.
He's also taken over by the Void. So, separate...
Dormammu, I've come to make a party.
Yes. It's a separate Void.
Malzahar took a hold of him.
It's separate than the Void that everybody goes into from the TVA, but there's an embodiment that makes Sentry dark.
Dormammu.
Well, they call it in the comic book. It's a character called the Void. The Void. Yeah, it's like a dark entity that the Sentry and him share a body. Yeah. Like he embodies Sentry.
Kind of like Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, he embodies Sentry and turns him dark.
I have something with that. So Thunderbolts, I don't know if you read stuff about Thunderbolts. There's mostly talk about mental health. The whole movie's about mental health. So the Sentry, I forget what's that ability called. You have different personality disorders. Not like Moon Knight.
Yeah, I was gonna say Moon Knight is BPD.
But they're talking about him being that because you have Bob, you got the Sentry. They're trying to make it like the Void. In a way. But I don't know how that's gonna work because you said he's like a sentinel, something like that.
He's Superman.
He's
that like they injected him with a bunch of shit trying to make him indestructible. That's why in one of the trailers he's complete like he's got bullet holes all over his scrubs that he's wearing because you can't kill him. He's unkillable. Yeah. Like they made him completely and utterly invincible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the void like takes over his body and turns him dark.
Okay.
That's what happened. That's the way I understood it.
And
so,
he has telepathy.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets inside his brain.
Yeah, because the void's not a human being; it's like a fog.
It's a shapeshifter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
But he normally I'm reading a wiki. He normally presents himself in just a mass black human wearing a trench coat.
Yeah. So he
no
takes
human figures, like no eyes, no nothing. It's like a black cloud, but just a black cloud in the form of a dude wearing a trench coat.
Because when they're trying to kill him, that's when they're trying to go after him, that's when Yelena uses the line, "We're just a bunch of people with guns and fists." like how are we supposed to kill this guy? Like because, and if you notice the beginning of the trailer, Taskmaster's in it, and in the end,
you don't see
he's not. She's not.
Because I think my biggest irritations with their version, not the she part.
I have never seen Black Widow. Is it really a she?
I think.
Oh, okay.
I think Sentry kills Taskmaster during their first fight.
Because this version of Taskmaster is the most pussy ass, horrible version of Taskmaster.
Yeah.
It's the leader of the Red Room's daughter that he
basically... that's right.
After Black Widow tried to blow him up and ended up blowing her up, he keeps her alive and basically experiments on her and turns her into a just fucking killing machine.
She was essentially the first Widow.
Yeah, she was essentially the first. Well,
kind of.
No, the Widows were already going at that point because that was...
the Widow
it was his own personal Widow.
That was his...
It was...
Taskmaster from the comics, I'm going to go on a side tangent, is a brilliant human being that doesn't need to study tape and is just an amazing fighter that copies everyone. Doesn't have to sit there and watch security camera footage to learn your fighting style.
Like just a few seconds into the fight.
He can adapt to the fight. He can change to anybody's fighting style. Does not get overpowered by anybody unless they're using superpowers like the Sentry will be. And they fucked her up in the Black Widow movie. I thought she was horrible. Not because she's a she. I know people bitched about that, but...
I mean, it gives a reason for someone to create Taskmaster, that is for sure. So that makes sense. But, you weakened the character considerably.
Yeah.
In a world where some people can flatten you by thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier in a comic book to just zap somebody into a timeline, where in a movie you kind of have to introduce them somehow.
Oh, I know you have to introduce them. My problem wasn't the introduction. My problem was the character as a whole wasn't the character from the comics. It was it was a fucking dude that just he was a fucking quarterback that just studied tape and knew where to throw shit.
Aside from like a few select people, most of what we get in the MCU is severely underpowered or
bad guys,
unlearned versions. Like Wanda, we know how fucking crazy
especially with the bad guys.
Like she was not smart. She was running so much off of emotion.
And I understand.
And it was like we never got to see the refined product of what she is at full fucking capacity.
I still think that once we get 2027's Secret Wars,
I was just saying this,
and we get the introduction of the Fantastic Four, and we get the introduction of Doom, and we get I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is done after Secret Wars, and I don't think that and we get the introduction of mutants, X-Men, out of the universe from Deadpool and Wolverine. I think we get House of M.
I was going to say, there's still a Scarlet Witch movie that isn't titled, like we don't have much detail on, but is floating around. Like every time they release a timeline, there is reference to it somewhere.
Is it probably placeholder for Vision stuff.
Maybe.
It might be.
And I know that everybody's like, no, WandaVision was their adaptation of House of M, but I don't...
That's not how
it
it
was.
is.
It was not.
It is not. It is not.
My only point with that is I know that the White Vision show on whatever timeline I'm remembering off the top of my head, there was the White Vision show slated and then a Scarlet Witch movie later.
After.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's what I mean.
Oh, I
You
thought
make
you
a
meant...
fake placeholder to hold two places.
Yeah.
In case of a later.
The other thing you got to think of is after White Vision, not only a Scarlet Witch movie also would make sense because you've got to have something for the kids to do, the twins to do after White Vision. Because I still think that their long run, also a long-term goal for them is to do Young Avengers with like Kate Bishop and the two kids and
Wicked and Speed.
Yeah, Wicked and Speed and whoever else they can pull together. Ironheart and
I know
Miss
we were
Marvel.
supposed to be getting an Ironheart at one point.
Yeah,
We're still getting.
Are we still getting
it's.
Ironheart?
I think it comes out this year.
Really?
Yeah.
There's footage been shown of it.
Yeah, we get Ironheart. We get Ironheart, and we get
My only complaint with the TV shows
Power Man. Is it Power Man?
Power Man.
5000.
Power Man 5000. Yeah.
It seems like the TV shows get so overshadowed by the movies, but the TV shows give us so much more detail and shit.
I still think to this day, like, not counting Logan for like Marvel-oriented movies, like Loki was my favorite shit. I think Loki was my favorite.
Look,
I think Loki
all
was
of this fucking everything that's been for MCU. Yeah,
I think Loki has been the best done, and probably my favorite.
It's not Power Man. Power Man's Luke Cage.
Best acting, best
yes.
fucking castings.
Best. I think honestly, probably one of the better storylines.
Yeah, and now we're just like dead ended on it. It's like it solved itself without solving itself.
Yeah.
Loki is the best that the MCU's been able to give us especially on Disney Plus. It was perfectly done. I thought it was perfectly done.
The only part that sucked is it was followed up by Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a good TV show, just not as good as Loki.
Yeah.
And it feels so much worse.
It's a shame that happened that way because watching this movie now, even though it was far too big of a gap, watching this movie now, I felt like
it was a Falcon Winter Soldier episode.
I felt like it was like Falcon and Winter Soldier now holds a bigger place in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like now after seeing this movie, I feel like that, like it almost made me want to go back and watch the series.
Right.
Like
I'm going to.
I think a lot of its fans are kind of burnt out on patriotism. And I think we're just fucking tired of the red, white, and blue in our face.
Wonder Man.
We're second guessing our country so fucking hard right now. We're about tired of that. Everybody kind of speaks against the country at this point.
Yeah.
So I think those movies are going to not do well because people are already apprehensive about being hopeful for your fucking country.
It brings up a good point because, and I'm glad you said it, and I didn't think about it, but like, I could see where people wouldn't go see this, although I don't know how much that plays with the Marvel crowd, because they wouldn't want to see, oh my God, they're going to make this a political thriller, and it's going to be all about what's going on now, and they're going to adapt it, and they didn't. It's like a totally different crisis and a totally different thing.
It's a shit precedent for a completely made-up reason that will never happen in our country.
Yeah.
And if it does, fucking A, finally.
Also, going back to Falcon and Winter Soldier, so the mysterious buyer in that movie that was controlling Agent Carter must have been the leader.
Must have been
Stearns.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mysterious buyer that we never found in that movie. They never found the buyer in that movie, right?
In the show.
In the show?
Oh, no.
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
The buyer for...
Because
Agent Carter was running around working for a buyer, remember? Like she was the bad guy.
Yeah, in Madripoor, she wasn't. Yeah, she was working with or working for somebody.
Do you? Oh man, fucking.
You're like, what the fuck?
Okay,
here.
So the Stryker we got for MCU is technically the one that fucked with Wanda and Pietro.
Yes, technically.
Yes, Stryker, but with a U.
Yeah,
it was Strucker.
It was Strucker.
It was. Do you think the leader will be what puts adamantium on Wolverine, trying to mind control him into X fucking 23 kind of situation? Like he'll have him in a fucking lab.
It definitely gave that lab.
I'm just trying to motherfucking get Wolverine in the shit somehow.
I don't think we get Wolverine unless it's fucking Hugh Jackman.
You don't fucking talk about adamantium for no other reason. There is no other reason. And if there is, you're fucking up everything. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't build a whole movie on the fucking mining of it without it already existing in some capacity.
Right.
Because why else would they know they need to mine this motherfucker in mass quantity for a newly discovered metal? It's not going to really take hold. Okay, you guys just figured it out. What are you going to use it for? Nobody's done any working with it.
Right.
So, like, motherfucking Tony Stark found a chunk a long ass time ago, or even Howard Stark found a chunk. Howard would have found it.
Yeah, Howard.
Tony didn't find shit. He just had to fix up his own fuck ups.
So Ironheart comes out in June.
That's surprising.
A month before Fantastic Four.
Huh.
And then Wonder Man comes out in December. Do we not get any movies in 26? No, Doomsday's in 26.
Ironheart was in the Wakanda movie, right?
Yeah, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Z Bombay.
Who else? This is the dumbest thing. As I'm sitting there, and I laughed at myself because it was the first thing I thought of. As he was fighting and doing all his stuff, especially at the beginning when he was fighting all the guys, I thought I kind of want Sam Wilson as a DPS in Marvel Rivals.
Oh yeah,
that was my first thought. I was like, he'd make a kick-ass fucking character in Marvel Rivals.
Oh my god!
They shouldn't have named him Captain America. They should have named him Captain America, Steve Rogers. That way we could get Captain America Sam Wilson.
Just call it Sam Wilson.
You could just call it Sam Wilson. But I thought this whole fighting style...
Falcon.
They could just call him the Falcon.
Yeah, but I don't want him calling Falcon now. I want him to be Captain America. I want him to wear the suit and fucking be all fancy and shit. His passive can be fucking... If you're blocking shots with that thing, he can fucking bring it back out.
I was gonna say,
but he can be Sam Wilson.
Shield throwers. You can't just have two shield throwers.
You
can't have them throwing the same shield.
Right.
That's like if they give us Jane Foster, like
Jane Foster's Thor.
Yeah, you can't be yielding.
Mjolnir can only be wielded by one character in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. Right, and that's why we'll probably never get.
Yeah,
but
I can see him being a good Falcon but close enough to the same moveset that you want.
Oh yeah, with his wings and without a shield and his wings. And...
Am I the only one that thought that he did not use his vibranium in his wings that well?
He did not.
No, I was so irritated by that.
No, he could have destroyed the Hulk way before he did.
There were so many times, they even made him make the reference of he gets hit the first time by Red Hulk and he looks at the vibranium and goes, damn, or wow, or whatever. Like, wow, he hit hard. Wow, this is charged up a bunch. And then he waits till one wing's broken, he's almost dead, and is like, I guess we'll unleash this power now.
Well, and I wonder if it was,
preserve the surroundings kind of situation, last ditch effort. He's like, wow, I can't just fucking set
I
this
wonder
off
if it was showing him as, empathetic. Restraining. Yeah,
it's
like
Sam. He's a big softie.
Yeah,
still beat the shit out of it.
It's Sam. He doesn't want.
Come on, man. I love you.
Yeah, he wants to preserve. He doesn't want any collateral damage. That's why they went to the island. And he's like, get everybody off that island. We're headed there. not just to calm him down, but because he didn't want anybody to get caught in the crossfire. Not even those people in the Tide commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't need to be.
In the Tide commercial?
Have you not seen the Tide commercial?
No.
Oh yeah, these people get mud and shit all over them when they're fighting. It's a total Tide commercial. It's Tide can get all this stuff out of.
I'm gonna have to look.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway,
Tide.
It's a Tide commercial. It's an OxyClean.
Not a
commercial.
sponsor. Delicious dessert.
Tide's a delicious dessert.
Tide Pods. Yeah.
I was gonna say those were my after-school snack for my generation.
That's fair. That's fair. So the two movies that we're supposedly getting in 2026 are Doomsday and a Spider-Man sequel, the fourth Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man Lost in Space or something.
Yeah, but we go all the way from July.
Spider-Man 4 Halloween.
We go all the way from July of 25 to May of 26 between Fantastic Four and Doomsday.
I'm fine with that.
So what we get in between that is Wonder Man and maybe the second season of Daredevil.
They could do that.
I probably won't watch Wonder Man because I'll keep forgetting it's a Marvel movie. It just sounds like one of them that, Wonder Man, what the hell's this shit? Wonder Man.
Yeah, I can already hear people shit talking.
He's very comic book accurate, honestly. And I love the fact that I very much like the fact that they brought Ben Kingsley back as Trevor.
No?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know who Trevor is.
Trevor Slattery? The guy that played the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 2?
Never saw it.
Oh, he
was
in
abducted in the 10 Rings. You ever seen Shang-Chi?
I fell asleep halfway through.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he was in...
Shang-Chi was awful.
The actual Mandarin captured the fake Mandarin and I realized he was such a fucking idiot.
People can hate me,
him
but Shang-Chi was fucking awful.
I like Shang-Chi.
I like Shang-Chi.
The weird little fluffy thing.
I'll
put it
quite simply. I was sober watching it and fell asleep. Normally that only happens when I'm drunk.
Oh, you enjoyed it. So,
I'm saying it's my personal opinion.
It makes sense.
I won't deny that it makes sense. The part I saw seemed to make sense.
It made way more sense when it was going to have something to do with Kang.
Yeah, it made way more sense if you watch anime on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, and now that it doesn't have anything to do with Kang, it's just kind of like, what the fuck? So...
Yeah. I was going to say, I also don't like the Shang-Chi character as a whole, because he's not really that prevalent, ever. He was one of those heroes I don't think should have gotten a movie.
It's better than fucking Iron Fist, which is the same shit.
I hated Iron Fist.
Yeah. Oh, I've tried to watch
I've never seen Iron Fist.
The show's gross.
The show is...
I got like 3 episodes
there
and hated it.
The show is terrible.
Cheaper townhomes!
Yeah, the fucking show is terrible.
Cheaper townhomes.
I don't know what he says when he halts.
Well, no, when you said that, I thought you were saying it. It took my brain a minute to realize that that's exactly... Chico Taulo? I don't know.
I think it's Chief Italo. At least that's what I try to say.
Iron Fist.
Yeah. But if you get online, there's memes about what he actually says.
Cheaper Taulo.
Oh my fucking god. Chi Guan Chong Ho is what he says. Because it's Chinese, to pierce through, penetrate. Chong Ho, his spirit reaches the rainbow, full of noble aspirations.
Chi Guan Chong Ho! I gotta practice, man. I'm gonna start playing Iron Fist and being the most annoying piece of shit to you guys I could possibly be. DPS tonight.
I'll be a tank. I've never played tanks.
Good, you should. I
got my Strange to Lord.
Play that Venom. I think you'd be a good Venom. And just pop your shield anytime it's up.
I upgraded
low health.
Oh yeah, pop it when it's low health. Which is anytime he's up.
Yeah. Because it gives you more bonus health the lower health you have. And then with this all, you just want to hit as many people as you can because it gives you bonus
just
health.
going to be playing Iron Fist screaming in the microphone.
Cheap townhomes!
Cheaper townhomes!
Then Marvel just like, what the fuck happened? It's like, oh, you say some racial shit without saying anything.
Townhouses are for pussies!
Wow!
Old paper towel roll!
We do only have, because we brought up rivals, we only have 5 days.
I know. I didn't.
5 days till Christmas? What?
Until the thing and Johnny
Oh,
come
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And also,
I'm going to be playing my thing all day.
until you get your rank rewards. The Sue Storm skin comes out in 5 days. You have to hit gold.
I'm not hitting
I am
gold.
right
I'm
on
not
the
gonna hit
cusp.
gold.
I'm right
I'm
there.
not hitting gold.
I'll now have it on 2 accounts.
Teammates.
I bet if I play Iron
Can you gift it to me through the PlayStation?
No.
Gift me gold.
I mean, I could get on.
Give me the skin.
No,
Can you
they don't
carry
have that.
me?
I tried.
He tried. He figured out real quick how fucking nasty my lobbies are.
It's fucking wild. Some people just get the gravy and other people's, get shit on. Like,
I actually played the other night after you got off.
You played till 6 in the morning. Don't.
And
wait, what time did you get off?
I got done, or I loaded in.
This was after he came home from prom.
Where it's like a ranked game.
I almost got online too. I was like,
It's a ranked game, and I get on, and everybody picks. It's me as Cloak and Dagger and 5 DPSs. And I went, so we're playing no tanks and and 1 healer. And
Did you get told to shut the fuck up?
no, somebody switched to a healer. We still didn't have any tanks. But when the guy switched to another healer, and I can't remember who he picked, Invisible Woman maybe? No, Mantis. He picked Mantis. This little kid, probably couldn't have been older than 12, goes, "Way to go, old man! You bullied somebody into going to a." And I was like, I said back, I said, bullied? Like, we had 1 healer. What did you what's the point in playing ranked if the purpose isn't to win? Like, you're not.
Yeah.
The fucking meta right now is 3 fucking healers half the time. I can't, how are we gonna win with 1?
Also, I will say no one understands how to deal with 3 healers. Because no one thinks it can be meta. You go 3 tanks. 1 DPS, 3 tanks, 2 healers. Because they can't outdamage you.
No, you just automatically burn their heal target to the fucking ground. Coordinated 6-person focus, 1 fucking hero. Their target's gone, and then they're like, oh, well, we heal each other. And then you just kill the other remaining 2 fucking people, and then there's 3 supports, and you just stand there and look at them like they're fucking stupid. Like, okay, push, come on and push. And then they're like, we can't. And it's like...
There's multiple ways to deal with 3 healers.
It's just ignore the healers and kill.
I've noticed when you get higher up in rank, it is, even if you try to 6v1 somebody, if they have 3 healers on them, you're not killing them.
Well, yeah.
It depends, and it depends on who it is, specifically if it's tanks. If they're trying to 3 heal a DPS, I'll one-shot him. I don't fucking care.
Right.
Your heals aren't going to stop me
it depends on which tank, too. Because some tanks are you just can't, they move around too much for you to get enough concentrated damage on them.
If they're number of thorns a pain in the ass.
Issue.
You can fucking 6v1 a Stranger or Magneto, no goddamn issue, though.
And Captain America, I've learned, you just act like he's invisible, and you just ignore the Captain America that's running around doing weird shit, and you'll be fine.
I think I can play as a good Cap.
Cap's fun.
The one thing I try
I need to know his combos and stuff. That's the only thing I need to learn about.
The big thing with Cap, always throw your shield on the fucking ground.
Yes.
No, bounce
Yes, because it hits multiple people.
Well, even if you hit somebody with it, it'll hit multiple people, but you don't have to aim that way. You aim right at their feet, because if it hits a object, it will bounce to the nearest enemy.
Okay.
So if you just slam it at their feet, you don't have to try to hit them, because then if they dodge or Cloak and Dagger goes invisible, if you make it look like I'm gonna miss, it'll just bounce up and hit him in the face.
I did have
throw it running the other direction and it'll go put-ding.
Yeah, I did have my highlight moment on Friday night, even though I did drop from Bronze 1 to Bronze 2. I at one point
the fact that you played for 5 hours.
I had a team that auto locked two.
It sucks. Dude.
Auto locked 2 healers, and then they threw on, and then 3 DPSs like right away. Like I don't even know who they were. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll solo tank Magneto. It's the only one that I have any play time with at all. So I went ahead and did Magneto. I think I finished like 17-5. I didn't do terrible, but I ulted. I heard Star-Lord ult. And he went up. He went up in the air, so I ulted, went up in the air, and threw that rock and hit him out of the air and killed him. I was like, "That's the highlight of my life right there."
That's great.
Like, yeah, I ulted, just hit him square, and he just fucking died and fell.
I love it.
I was like, "That's great."
My favorite thing to do is Penny, and you just. Like, as soon as he does it, you right-click on him, and it webs him, and he's like, I'm legendary! And he falls down. And he's like, fuck!
I will say, and I don't know why it is, the higher up in rank I've gotten, both console and PC, it seems like now their skills are better, but they're dumber than fucking ever. Because, like, I'll get Magnetos that'll go up and try to kill a Cloak and Dagger in her ult, and as soon as he hits it, he just throws the fucking ball immediately, doing no
instead
damage.
Instead of collecting damage on
instead of collecting damage. Well, and even then, because a very common thing I see all the time is as soon as a Magneto ult goes up, nobody attacks. Because no one wants to charge it. But people forget that it's not just charge, it's time he holds it up. If you hold it for half its duration, but even have no charge, you'll still one-tap a Cloak and Dagger. You just have to hold it for a fucking second. People get so trigger happy being like, ah!
Yeah.
I hear it and I immediately like, oh my god, I gotta go to a different ring.
I immediately hear it and hide behind something.
I don't even look to see if it's the Magneto on my team.
Yeah.
I'm just gone. I'm fucking out of here.
That's the one thing I've gotten good at, and I'm glad they did it this way, is if they're on your team or on the enemy team, they have different voice lines.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah, when they the easiest one for me to hear out is Cloak and Dagger. Specifically, they say 2 different voice lines if they're on your team or if they're against you.
See, all I know with Cloak and Daggers is if it's our enemy, it goes
red.
Tick 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 tick.
So, can you guys play as Mr. Fantastic or?
I do.
I can't play them.
Fantastic!
I haven't got the hook down of them yet.
No, I can't play them. Like, they're, you can tell your character, their picture's right there on the round part. His picture's right there, but I can't hit him.
Maybe it's because somebody else pick him?
No, he's not even on there.
Huh.
I can't even click on
him. What time
him.
we at?
We are at 58 minutes.
30.
We're at what?
58 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Piss 30?
Yeah, Piss 30.
Alright, so, we're going to leave you on a cliffhanger whether or not he can play Mr. Fantastic or not.
Yeah.
Captain America, Brave New World, go watch it. I thought it was a solid movie. It was a good, I thought that it did its purpose for the MCU, and what I mean by that is the fact that I think it gives Sam Wilson a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. It also tied up loose ends like, the Celestials sitting in the Indian Ocean for the last 5 fucking years.
Yeah. So, good movie. Go see it. Support the MCU. They need
Captain
it.
Piss.
And so this has been Pints and Pages. I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
I'm Nate.
And we will see you next time.